A friend of mine and his son and my son, Bobby, went to a football game, and the boys were about 11 years old. And after the game, as is sometimes common, they wanted to go get an autograph. And so back in those days, you could actually get to the locker room of the players. And so we went around to the locker room, and there was a little bit of a crowd of parents and autograph seekers sitting around. And so the boys went up to the front of the line. You know, they kind of slipped up to the front, and we stood back in the back watching them. And after a little while, we'd been talking. We looked, and we couldn't see the boys anymore. And I said, "Oops, let's go find them." So my friend went one way and I went the other way, and as I went around the corner, I saw the back door of the locker room, and there had just come out of the door with a towering figure of Coach Bryant and two little boys holding up their pads and pencil to get an autograph. And of course, back in those days, you didn't have cell phones or cell phone cameras, but I wish I had a picture of it because it was such a tremendous experience for me to see those two little boys being towered over by Coach Bryant.
When Paul Bryant got into the Hall of Fame, and we were in Washington, D.C., and I grew up with Mark Tyson, who was Coach Bryant's grandson, and he was the quarterback of the football team, and I was a center. We were the same age, still good friends. I actually talked to him a little while ago today, and they called Coach Bryant Papa. So we're at, I think it was the White House or somewhere like that in Washington, and then he goes, we were at the black tie event, and he says, "I want you to come meet Papa, or say hello to Papa." We'd met him, knew him all my life. So I go up to him and I say, "Hello, Coach Bryant," and he turns around to me and looks me dead in the face, and he was talking to Bob Hope on one hand and Billy Graham on the other side, and Coach Bryant looked me dead in the face and said, "Boy, why aren't your grades any good?" That left a mark.
One of the first exciting games or memorable games that I went to was, of course, the '92 National Championship in New Orleans when we played Miami. I went with my brother and my sister-in-law, and it was, I guess, it was just a wonderful time. And it was the first national championship game that I had attended. When I was here, we actually played in two, but unfortunately I wasn't able to go and attend those, so it was the first one, so that's the most memorable.
Well, for me, my sister worked in compliance at the athletic department when Gene Stallings was coach, and she worked closely with Mal Moore and all the coaches, and I had the opportunity to meet a lot of the coaches and the student athletes. I also got to see some of the work that goes on behind the scenes, so it was a lot of fun. So.
Well, she had that involvement, and before me, I had an involvement going way back to a guy named Charlie Pell. He was president of my senior class in high school. He went on to be the head coach at Clemson, Jack State, and Florida. He was a very, very close friend. So I had the only car. We rode back and forth to Albert with my car. I think I had a lot to do with Charlie Pell when he was going to quit. He came over to my dorm, "I'm going to quit." And he said, "Bear didn't give me recognition. I'm not getting a pat on the back. I'm killing myself." And I said to him, "Charlie, you know, you came here, your daddy was a brick mason, and look where you are. Do you want to give that up?" And he said, "No." So he went back and went to practice that day, and I think that was the way I got involved initially. Secondary to that is I knew Bill Battle at that point in time through Charlie Pell, and then I got to know him better when he came to be AD, and very impressed that a guy that just sold out for a lot of money would come back to his home school and serve as AD in a terrible time. Mal Moore was gone. There was going to be a huge gap, but Dr. Witt and Paul Bryant Jr. got him to come. He left his farm in LHA, came back, and gave us all once again, kind of like I would suppose Bear Bryant did when Mama called. Bill Battle came, and that's how I got so deep in it. And then watching him and hear about all the programs and needs of the university and the athletic foundation, it was a big event.
I was on the field, and Aaron Bold was down there with me, and he and I were just talking while we were waiting for the players to come out and warm up. And I said, Obviously, we've got a fairly large endowment because of all the success we had during the Bryant years. We must have had a fairly large endowment. And he said, not really. We really didn't raise that much money back in those years. And I'm thinking, wow, that's not going to be good for us long term.
Well, I was very close with Mal Moore for a very long time. And my gift went toward the naming of the Mal Moore building. And this was before we actually named it and so forth. And I asked that this be counted toward that. And he was a close personal friend of mine. And I relied on him heavily.
There was an initiative that Coach Bill Battle was having to try to get some people to commit to the Bryant Society, and so we talked about opportunities there, and so I agreed to sign on to that. And what I wanted is the majority of my gift to be for scholarships, because I wanted it to be a long-lasting gift that would impact student athletes.
We were blessed, Dave and I both, to have the ability to give and the desire to give. And we vote on things, so we voted absolutely to give this much to this foundation, and I love every minute of it. So I'd say that was a big thing, and just to share what we've been blessed with others is a wonderful feeling.
It's very important to support athletics. It's very important to support any learning institution, whatever it is. I happen to be an active alumnus in the athletic center area. However, I'm helping student athletes. I'm not helping athletics. I'm helping the 750, 900, how many there are, student athletes here at the University of Alabama. This isn't the only place that our family gives to, but we're helping education. And our vehicle, our conduit, is the athletic department.
You can't just come here and be an athlete and walk away and think that's going to give you a good, sometime that's going to wear out. Where do you go? I've seen many pros come back and get their degrees. I've seen many guys that wish they'd gotten it before they left. And I would say to everybody, you know, you got to follow your career, but you need that degree. It puts you in a higher position to have a degree from Alabama than just playing the sport. So there's life after sports.
There's a number of student athletes that would never have had a chance to succeed in life without this, and I think it's very important. And if you look at all of the things that they receive as a student athlete in terms of health care and other tutoring and things that's so important to their life, I think it's just great.
I think we need to teach these kids discipline. And I think that that's something that athletics teaches. And that's something that they're going to have a leg up on the rest of the students here that don't have the discipline that a student athlete has. To be a student athlete at a Division I school, if you don't have discipline, you will not succeed.
Commitment's the main thing. Like I said to my grandson, you can go down there and you can get in, but if you don't try hard, when you get out of Alabama, you may not have a good job. You may not have a degree that means anything to you. So you got to look way down the road, and that's what I would tell anybody. Athlete, student, plan ahead. There is a tomorrow.
I think the connection for most alumni with the university is through athletics. And so it is the athletes and the teams are the ambassadors of the university to a lot of alumni. So if we provide the platform for these teams and athletes to be competitive, then it makes the university look good. So I would think that would be one reason to be interested in supporting it. Also, you don't have to do it all at one time. I didn't. I made a commitment and told them that I would, have to pay that over a period of time.
You don't have to do it all at once. Contribute some now and work your way toward that goal as you can, but you need to start now.
You sit down tax season and you say, what am I going to give? You sit down as you write your will, and where's it going to go? And I think you should move this first and foremost. If you have the love and commitment we do, move it up forward and realize you can't just give based on the ranking of Alabama football team. If we're number 1, you give more. If you're number 20, you give less. No, that won't work. You've got to give in a constant consistent manner to be a part of this, and they need the money for the scholarships, for what the athletes don't get, and what you can do for them, and we take a lot of pride in it.
To be a part of the Bryant Society, there's so many great people that are already in the Bryant Society, so I'm just honored to be a part of that situation. But if in fact my being a part of the Bryant Society helps other people want to contribute to the University of Alabama, then that's great too.
I decided after talking to Aaron Voll that maybe I should go ahead and step up and do it now. And but I'm whether it's donations or whether it's being able to offer opportunities to my friends and family to experience certain things, I get a great deal of joy out of seeing the excitement and happiness that it brings to them.
My goal is to be successful in life, be a successful businessman, be a successful father and family man and so forth. And if those fruits of my labor create enough where I can give, then I'm gonna give. I give to other things too, not just here. But I don't think you should ever cap yourself. Never put a cap on. Never stop. If you stop, you quit. I wouldn't tell Coach Saban that.